Hello to another episode of our project. Academic work is not only studying, visiting lectures or writing homework. Also, to build up a network, a conference is a good possibility to meet people from your discipline or for other disciplines. Not, universities are organizing conferences. Also, students are involved in the process of organizing conferences. My guest today, Julia, she organized a conference about which topic?
Uncertainty and economics.
So what is uncertainty in this case?
Well, uncertainty is around everywhere. Well, our world, the world in which we live in, is uncertain to different degrees. So we cannot be sure of what is going to happen tomorrow. We cannot even be sure of what has happened in the past. So all things that we think we know are surrounded with some kind of ambiguity. And this is particularly relevant when it comes to economics and economic policy. So if you design a policy in economics or policy advice as an economist, then you have to make assumptions about the world and build your model and derive conclusions which are relevant. But this is particularly difficult when you acknowledge that the world is uncertain. So then you get no clear results, or you have not gotten clear results so far, because economic models were based on the assumption that the world is certain. Economists knew that this is wrong, but they used this assumption in order to simplify the world in a way that they can treat it theoretically. And now we have learned that this theoretical treatment of the world as if it were certain, misdirected the attention of economists, and also in some way neglected the whole economic problem, which is caused by fundamental uncertainty, which does not allow people to act rationally, to always adjust to the behavior of other people in the correct way.
So how do you came to the idea to organize a conference about that?
Actually, I was asked by Julia to help her because it was her idea.
Yeah, okay. And we are here now in the University of Witten-Herdecke, not in Hamburg. We are also producing outside sometimes. How does the university help you organizing the project?
Of course, they just let us use the rooms, and also we got funding from our faculty.
But they were involved in the planning of the content, or have you been free about that issue?
We had been free to plan the content.
Not at all. They have not at all interfered in the whole organization process. They supported us. We are allowed to use their facilities, and also we have support from students here at the university. But our professors kind of gave us a lot of freedom to come up with really interesting ideas and invite researchers to the university, which are really of the top 5% and very relevant.
And how that looks, we will see right now.
Julia Köhn. Wir haben hier heute 25 junge Ökonomen aus aller Welt zu Gast und 5 Lecturer, Senior Lecturer, die auf ihrem Gebiet jeweils Koryphäen sind, und wir beschäftigen uns mit dem Thema Unsicherheit in der Ökonomie. Und das Format ist so aufgebaut, dass wir einen Dialog zwischen Jung und Alt schaffen wollen und gemeinsam dieses doch so wichtige Thema für die Ökonomie bearbeiten wollen. PPE ist Philosophy, Politics and Economics. Es ist immer mehr im Kommen. Wir haben gesehen durch die letzte Krise, dass Ökonomen offensichtlich nicht in der Lage sind, alleine wichtige Fragen zu beantworten. Und durch die Kombination Politics and Economics and Philosophy ist es scheinbar wesentlich besser möglich. Also Ökonomie wandelt sich gerade dahingehend, dass sie so ein bisschen back to the roots gehen, wieder zur politischen Ökonomie hin und Ökonomie reflektieren unter ihren philosophischen Grundlagen und auch ihre Relevanz für die Politik. Und das ist jetzt im Rahmen der Krise immer mehr en vogue und wird gerade auch in Deutschland groß, obwohl es das in England schon viel, viel länger gibt und auch unter dem Namen dort schon wesentlich bekannter ist. Wir haben festgestellt, dass Konferenzen für junge Leute oder für junge Wissenschaftler in ihrem Doktorandenbereich häufig relativ langweilig sind, weil sie meistens eben ihre eigene Sache vorstellen, aber dann doch noch nicht so richtig zum Club der alten Ökonomen dazugehören und untereinander das Netzwerk manchmal doch etwas schwerfällt. Und wir wollen eben uns mit diesem Format genau an junge Leute richten und diese jungen Leute miteinander vernetzen, damit sie besser forschen können und auch schon ein bisschen gestärkter eben in diese Industrie der Konferenzen und so hineingehen können. Also sie haben hier die Möglichkeit zu üben unter Aufsicht.
Kelly, and I'm attending here as a sort of a sub-participant, and I'm going to comment on someone's paper, and I'm really here just to learn more about sort of current research on uncertainty in economics. I'm a fourth-year PhD student at Trinity College in Dublin. I'm a member of the Faculty of Theology, and I work on the intersection between ethical and economic perspectives on value. Well, I think I've always been interested in uncertainty, and I think in the current economic climate and the current political climate, economic methodology needs to come to terms with this concept and to integrate it much more into its current research. I think, like, for example, there's a need to take a more sort of philosophical perspective to inform methodology in economics, so I hope maybe that will be what we discussed there. I'm going to comment on another paper, a paper by Jakob Brown, and sort of this was established by the conference organisers to give sort of some participants the opportunity to make sure that they read someone's paper and then to try to provide some detailed feedback of about 10 minutes. I'll make my comment and then he'll probably respond to it, and then that's sort of supposed to encourage the rest of the participants to start discussion and to ask questions. Conference is a great opportunity for people from different backgrounds, different countries to come together to talk about their work, and also meet in a more informal setting. They can sort of, make network and learn what other people are doing with similar interests. It can often be difficult, particularly for younger researchers in certain environments, can be quite isolated with their work, and to meet similar people in a relaxed, fun environment. My own work is interdisciplinary, as I mentioned, so I sort of focus on the intersection between economics and philosophy. So by coming here, if there are people from these perspectives and maybe also political science, you can sort of, by having a common theme of uncertainty, people can try to translate their work into a more common academic space, and that will allow sort of a greater level of understanding, and people can also then question their own prejudices in their research.
My name is Radika. I'm from the University of Bucharest. I'm finishing my PhD in behavioral economics there. And I'm basically interested in how to model uncertainty in different type of decisions and maybe gain theoretical settings. So it was a general interest. I was not a specialist on the topic, but more or less I had very particular inputs that I would like to clarify. This is a workshop on uncertainty and economics. It is quite an interdisciplinary event in my opinion. So it was economic philosophy, but we had different discussions, also on empirical analysis, but also on methodology, basically on imperfect knowledge economics, and how how the theories from this heterodox field can be more and more implemented also into the mainstream discourse, and of course can help the economy to be better than it is now. It was a very interesting mix for me, so now I have so many information in my head that I need to do some further reading, but for example, it was interesting to see the relation between behavioral economics and this type of heterodox school from a methodological perspective, and So I had a different totally perspective before coming here. So now I have many things to think about. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I usually check the INET website, the Institute for New Economic Thinking. So I saw it there as a young scholars event. So I found this call for papers, the announcement of the workshop on the website of the Institute for New Economic Thinking. I usually check it, their Young Scholar Initiative, so they have all the details there, so that's why I applied. It is good for building a contact network because they managed to bring very high-profile speakers, which it's quite hard to contact in different settings, and also the group was quite small, so we were able to talk a lot with the professor and between us. So I guess it's one of the best ways if you are able to participate in such a small gathering to actually create sustainable contacts and not only exchange visit cards or something like that.
How many time do you spend for the planning process?
Well, it took us about a year from the very first idea of this workshop, which came to me last year in Cambridge. And
You studied in Cambridge?
No, I was a visiting scholar in Cambridge just for a couple of months, and that was a very inspiring atmosphere over there, and we had a lot of discussions with professors which are working also on this topic, and so I came up with the idea. I talked about it with my supervisor. It was a supervisor of my PhD thesis, and he was like very enthusiastic about the topic, but also about the idea to bring together senior researchers, experienced, high qualified professors, and young scholars at the PhD level.
But the idea itself was forced by you.
Yes, definitely it was. Yeah, but well, it was well supported.
And how is this topic uncertainty famous in German academic discussion? Or?
It should be famous.
Famous. You're working on that.
We do.
Will you try to organize this conference next year too?
Yes, because we heard also from the feedback that it's good to if there's work in progress to continue the questions that come up. So we might do it next year to continue.
Uncertainty really is a growing topic in research, and it's getting more and more important, and also more and more supporters. So if we would have come up with that topic 5 years ago, nobody would have listened to us. But after the crisis, a lot of economists started really to reformulate and rethink economics, which is also fostered by the Institute for New Economic Thinking, who is also supporting this conference. And therefore, there is a growing number of people. The people that have been here really asked for a second workshop, and we'll see how that works. If we can kind of get enough funding and have enough time to do that next year.
So thank you for the interview, and we will see what will happen next year. Thank you very much, and goodbye.